Hey everyone. So I came to realization that I forgot that I've got mental health problems. Now, this sounds really weird for someone who is studying about mental health, who talks so much about mental health, mental illness, mental health problems. But then often I forget that I have my own mental health problems and my own mental health issues because I'm always talking about thriving and surviving with mental health problems and mental illness, something I am really, really passionate about because you can live a full, purposeful, driven life despite having mental health problems and learn to manage them. But because I've learned quite well over lots of trial and error, to manage my mental health. So often I forget that I've actually got mental health problems. And I think this is kind of the danger sometimes when you're like leading or you're supporting other people. I don't just mean like online, you just in any community or in any house, you might be kind of trying to support someone with something. Um and I know I try and do a lot of that, but then often I forget that I've got mental health problems, and it's not about being defeatist and kind of defined by them, but it is also understanding yourself that if you do have mental illness or you think you do, in mentally ill health, then do seek help because we all need support at times. And I'm a big believer in like mental health is for all, and we've all got mental health because that's why I talk so much about physical fitness and mental fitness, whether I'm getting ready or just done my workout. Just done my workout now, I'm getting ready. But whatever I'm talking about, I forget sometimes that I do have anxiety, depression, and it's called an acute polymorphic psychotic disorder. And granted, it's all managed through medication, lots of therapy, lots of fitness, lots of dancing, writing, vlogging helps. So I do manage it really well, and I do live a really fulfilling life. But like last week when I had a bad bout of depression and then lots of triggers as well, um, I was kind of going hard on myself, not being my own good morning, everyone. Not being my own best friend. And this is what I always say to people: be your own unconditional best friend. Sometimes you've got to practice what you preach, especially when you don't feel like it. So it's really important to recognize your own issues and not to deny them and not just to try and give, because you need to also make sure self-care, self-love is about making sure that you've like blown up your life jacket first and then you're helping someone else. And whilst I am very good at self-care and self-love, when I have periods of bad depression or really bad anxiety or anxiety attacks, it's really hard because you want to be helping other people. And then I just think, well, actually, the language that I am using against myself to I would never use that language to a friend. I would never berate someone for struggling with their mental health. I would never go, "Come on, pick yourself up," at all. But they're the kind of things that I'm saying to myself. I'm saying, "Why am I getting so physically anxious? Why can't I sleep? Why can't I eat? Why can't I do this? I should just be able to do this." And I sometimes expect too much of myself. And it was actually when I was doing some of my mental health studies um, this week, and I was doing the difference, very basic mental health and mental health problems, the difference. And I was like, hello, I've got a cat here, Poppy. And I was like, actually, there is a big difference because we've all got mental health that needs to be cared for, and we all could have mental health problems. One in four, at least, will in at some point in their lifetime. But it is very different when you have an illness and it is a disability, and just because it's invisible doesn't make it any less a disability. And I'm very much like, yes, it doesn't define me, and actually, it enables me to do things. I think it enables my brain to be more creative. It enables me to do certain things in life. But at the same time, I sometimes expect myself too much. So I'll find myself in an office or a workforce or in any situation where I'm thinking, why can't you just fit in, Sophie? Why do you struggle with like too many people, non-verbal noise, like just energy noises. Why can't you just switch off and focus on the task? Or why can't you just be like them? And you often like look at other people and you think, why am I crumbling inside? And for me, I can deal with big pieces of work, but then it's like little triggers for me. If I think somebody doesn't like me or somebody doesn't smile, hello, at least I've got a cat that likes me now. Yeah. um, and actually, it's understanding that, because mental health problems, and this isn't doom or gloom, it does affect your daily life. It does impact your daily life. I couldn't, I could not work in an open plan office. I don't think I could even cope with a commute anymore. I'm saying I can't do these things. I could always force myself because I'm very driven and ambitious, but I have had to accept that my life isn't the same, because I have recovered from a lot of issues, but I think I will always have mental health problems because that's just how I'm built. And it's not to be defeatist. I don't let it get to me, and I don't let it make me lazy or anything like that. No, but it is about being kind on yourself. If you do have a diagnosis for whatever condition or disability, is trying to understand how would you treat someone else with that condition. Hopefully it would be really good, and you'd be really understanding. So you'd be like, yeah, you need to push yourself sometimes, but then sometimes you need to pace yourself, or just accept that it's a bad day. And I think it's really, really important, because I sometimes expect so much of myself, and then I'm like, I'm an absolute mess. And then I'm thinking, well, I shouldn't be out talking about good mental health when I'm struggling, but actually I've got an illness. I would never say that to somebody else with an illness. Oh, well, you can't do your job or you can't do your passion because you're poorly. No way. And this is where I think with mental health, we forget that it is very much physical as well as mental. And people say, like, oh, well, you just utilize the fact that you've got your mental health problems. Well, yes, I do, because it does hold you back in a lot of areas of life. So if you can find somewhere that appreciates you, whether it be like me online doing my YouTube videos and my writing columns and all that, you can find somewhere that appreciates you for your diversity, and they are inclusive, whatever that is to you, then go for it. Take your passion. Like for me, mental health really is a passion, because I say I want to make it sexy, because I want people just to be able to talk about it, not see it as like this stereotype of someone without makeup on, without the hair done, sat in a rocking in a corner. I'm not saying that's never been me. Yes, it has at times, and it doesn't matter how you look or how you present. What matters is what you're feeling and the illness that you're suffering inside that you need help with. And I think we can try and help lots of other people. And then I was literally having a conversation with a friend, and we're like, I had the most basic realization. I was like, I have got mental health problems, and I've had them for years. I've had them since I can remember, but definitely I remember aged 11 was when I first made myself sick with the eating disorder side of things. But I think I had them before that. And maybe I was born beautiful and different for a reason, and that is my purpose to talk about it. But at the same time, I have to accept that I do have mental health problems, and I want you to kind of like reflect on yourself and be kinder to yourself too, because I've had a big shift this weekend where I'm kind of like, yeah, I won't be able to tolerate the normal amount of overwhelm of certain people. And people might think, oh, you're doing so well off your mental health problems. And yeah, I am, but so what? Because I'm so passionate. And I think your passion always shows through, because I need to talk about it, because there are so many other people like me who don't fit the norm. They don't fit the system when it comes to mental health problems. And then that further makes you like segregated, it further isolates you. And honestly, when you've got mental health problems, you're already isolated in your head, you're already isolated yourself. So then when people like shun you and or treat you like you're thick, or you're just worthless, then that does knock your self-esteem and it causes more mental health problems, and it's like a dangerous spiral. But then you'll get to a point in life like me where you're managing quite well, um, and you kind of forget sometimes that you do have mental health problems, and then you have a bad wave and you struggle because you're thinking, well, I should be able to tolerate this, everyone else is. And actually, it is being kinder on yourself and being your own unconditional best friend. And that's a note to me too, because I wouldn't be talking to my best friend how I talked to myself last week when I was feeling really low and I just had all sorts of awful things going on in my head. But I had to accept, I had to evaluate, and I learned my own techniques of reaching out. I connected with people, even when I didn't feel like it. I told people, even when I didn't want to tell them because it was uncomfortable and embarrassing. Because I can do so well in some areas and I'll be really struggling in others. Um, but this realization of doing my mental health studies and realizing when I was listing the difference between what is mental health and what are mental health problems and the daily things that you have to deal with when you have mental health problems. I don't think people always realize what it takes to get out of bed on a morning. For me, I've got chronic fatigue like fibromyalgia, ME, and like even moving first thing on the morning, but I know that I need to for my brain and my body and all these things that people often don't see when you're living with mental health problems. It's not to like feel sorry for me. No, I never want that because I'm really lucky and fortunate. But it is understanding people, and honestly, it's being kinder and understanding people. And kindness always matters. You'll never regret being kind. Anyway, I'd love to know your experiences, whether you've been like me, maybe you're a leader in some sense, or a supporter of people, and then you're actually having your own struggles. And it's I never believe that whole, well, you shouldn't be supporting other people if you're struggling yourself. Yeah, you have to be actively working on yourself all the time so you can support people better. But I don't believe in that kind of like all or nothing philosophy. But I do think make sure you take stock, take time for yourself, and if you do think you have mental health problems, or you need help with your mental health, do reach out. There is support out there, professional support, and find your own cheerleaders. Get rid of those vampires who don't understand you. Focus on the cheerleaders, even if it's just a small team of cheerleaders around you who will love you no matter what. It's much better than having thousands of vampires, I can assure you. Anyway, sending you all so much love, so much peace, even so much love, and so many shimmies. I'm also live on Instagram at Mama May Blog and Facebook at Mama May Blog and Instagram at Green Health PT if you want a mind and body booster every Monday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. See you guys later. It's UK time, that is, as well. So please do share, subscribe, and all that jazz if you think it'll help someone else. Bye.